Good evening, everybody. How are you? Well, another video on traditional food. Today, my favorite country, Canada. Well, first I'd like to say that both times I went to Canada, I didn't have the cuisine curiosity I do today. So I haven't had most of traditional Canadian food. And another thing is that since Canada is so close culturally and geographically to the United States, there is a very strong anti-Americanism there. And they define traditional food to food you can buy in the US. If I were to make a video on food typical Canadian eat every day, it would be very similar to the American one. I'm just talking about the traditional food, not the ones that they have every day. The food they have every day would be similar to America and many countries in Europe. A fat breakfast, a sandwich for lunch, and a proper meal only in dinner. Well, I'll start with the stereotypical. We have ginger ale, which is like gingibirra, a soda made of ginger that doesn't taste like ginger. Then we have the maple syrup, which is a kind of melasse. You know, it's a syrup made from the maple tree. It's delicious, and it's not so sweet, so it's delicious. Then we have, of course, Canadian bacon that we have here in Brazil as well, differently. It really isn't a bacon, it's more like a lombo. It's thick and round, and people love it. Then, it's almost offensive to say to Canadians that you don't like donuts. They are fascinated by donuts. And a big Canadian store, a big Canadian place called Tim Hortons, they sell different kinds of sizes and flavors of donuts. And they sell chocolates and coffees. It's a delicious place. You put on 5 kilos just entering the place. But it's delicious. Well, they have very many traditions, desserts. For example, they have Nanaimo Bar, which is a buttery cream sandwiched by two different kinds of chocolate. They also have the butter tart, which is very similar to pastelzinho de Belém. Well, their food is typically very fat because it's a very cold place. They are very proud of their poutine, which is French fries with melted cheese and gravy. We have something similar here in Brazil, but don't say that to Canadian, they will get offended. Then they have different flavors of chips, but we do have them here. For example, they have ketchup chips, we have requeijão, so it's not so different for us. And another thing that Americans found it's so strange, and for us it's not so weird. In Ontario, they sell milk in a bag. We have this in Brazil as well. It's not as common as the ones in the carton, but it exists. So, well, Brazilian people, they tend to adapt very easily to Canadian food because it's very sugary and very fat and very delicious. And they adapt so well that it's not uncommon for you to put on 5 or 4 kilos after 1 month you've been in Canada. And well, this is what I have to tell you about Canadian food. I hope you've enjoyed today's video and see you next week. Bye-bye!